If you're feeling lost in life, it can feel extremely uncomfortable because you are untethered from a past identity that you once had. Maybe you had a specific job title, a relationship, or some sort of situation that you no longer have at this current moment. But when you start to realize that being lost is actually one of the greatest gifts that you can actually have, because it allows you to then refine or reinvent yourself. And some of the reasons why people feel lost is because maybe they've outgrown an existing identity that no longer serves them, and they've held on too tightly to that one identity, so they have nothing else to fall back on. And when that happens, then they feel like they're searching for the next thing. And the quickest way to kind of solve that problem is to look at your purpose and what brings you fulfillment, and then moving towards that. Now, another thing that makes people feel lost is that they have a preconceived notion of what their existing reality is supposed to look like. And when it doesn't match up to their expectations, then that gap is the thing that makes them feel lost and creates a sense of unfulfillment or unhappiness. And another reason is because you actually just are stepping into a new chapter in your life. And there's a saying that says, for every season in life, there's a lesson to be learned. So we're going to be going through ups and downs constantly throughout life. It's never just an upwards trajectory or always just a downwards trajectory. So just realizing that it is literally just a specific snapshot in a moment in time right now that you're feeling lost, but it's not permanent. And when you get out of this feeling of getting or feeling lost, you're going to look back and potentially be very grateful that you had this experience, because that feeling of being lost and having to get yourself out of it is the thing that helped you to build the resilience and that resourcefulness to become a better and stronger person through that process of building yourself up from getting yourself out of that hole of feeling lost. And the thing that I want to really focus on is this idea of identity, because a lot of us, we're fathers, we're mothers, we're teachers, we are parents, we're children, we are men, we are women. All these labels that we have for who we are, what we do, these are all these labels that we connect and we believe are who we are, that they define us. And though they might be something that is a feature and an attribute of who we are, the thing is, we hold multiple identities. So this idea of holding too tightly onto one specific identity is usually the reason why once you lose that really significant identity, then you feel lost. So just realizing that will enable you to then, in the future, diversify your identity. And maybe that means taking on different hobbies, learning new things, taking on different activities that actually boost and diversify your identity in a way that you no longer are tied too tightly to just one thing. So when that one thing falls apart, you have these other things to fall back on as well. And one example of this I always see is with athletes. There's some people who they've been athletes all their life, and maybe they're a professional athlete, and once they lose their identity of being that professional athlete, they have nothing else to fall back on, which then creates this feeling of being lost. And then they have to go through that reinvention. And if they're lucky, they're able to actually find new opportunities and then kind of transition smoothly. So in your life, if you're going through something where you want to find that new thing, then one of the best things you can do is always focus it back to your North Star, looking for something that creates purpose in your life, because then when you wake up every morning, you feel a sense that this is something that is really meaningful to you and creates this kind of energy that you want to continue to fuel this thing. Then you can continue to pursue that. And I just really feel like this is something that I wish more people, especially in the older generations who maybe have done the same job all their life in their career, and once they retire, they lose their sense of identity, and it's very hard to transition into retirement because they no longer have that identity. And that creates depression, it creates anxiety, it creates this feeling of helplessness. But you can get yourself out of that by, especially if you're someone who's young right now, to just realize that you can change that for yourself by diversifying your identity and finding your North Star so that you can then create the ideal future that you want, and realize that your thoughts, emotions, and actions are all interlinked, and you can use your mindfulness to intentionally move yourself towards that new vision that you want for yourself. So my name is Dexter. I'm a mindset coach. I talk about self-awareness, decision-making, and living a purpose-driven life. And if this helped you out, I hope it does. And have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.